It's a good performance, lots of good things. It's funny how games turn out. I mean, they could have been up. I mean, the chance we had when Christian got down the right-hand side early on and, Chu had some give and goes early, I mean, maybe we could have been up. So, I think they had two really clear chances. I'm sure, they're disappointed that both of them didn't go in, but, we were the ones that created a lot of chances and were able to get two in.
In the post game, Nico Estevez sort of had a bit to say about the whole sequence around the penalty, and then he also apparently was kind of worked up about the injury to Alan Velasco and Alex's role in that. Did you have any opinions on either of those situations?
Well, I don't know what he was complaining about the penalty. Was he complaining about the actual penalty or the build-up?
Well, he said that the throw-in was allowed to be taken too far forward, and then on top of that, I guess there's been, I don't know the particulars of this, but apparently there's been some directive about players
shielding.
Exactly. And whereas, I don't know, it looked to me like it was a pretty stone cold penalty.
Well, look, everybody had, this could be a table, it could be a mesa, it could be something. It just depends where you're, was it a penalty in my opinion? Yeah. Was Alex maybe, 2 yards higher up the field? Yeah. But, that stuff happens. You got to give Alex credit for, trying to create tempo. And, I'm sure had that been his team, he would have said penalty. Now, the sad thing about Velasco's injury, it's really unfortunate. The kid was obviously, I don't know the full details. I don't know if there's been an official, designation or anything, but I feel bad about that. Alex looked like he got clipped from behind and his momentum was just pushed forward. I don't think there was anything malicious in it. So it's just unfortunate. Look, he lost another key players right back to ACL earlier in the year, so I'm sure he's feeling real snake bit to lose two really top players. Yeah.
I guess is there something though about the series where it's like these little transgressions or points of dispute can sort of manifest itself differently than it. Obviously, if it's a one-game series, you move on and whatever, you forget about it. But when it's a multi-game series like this, do little flashpoints like that have the potential to turn into something bigger?
We talked about that because there was, Jackson and Areola and some other moments in the game. The message to my players was very clear. To stay out of any of that. Look, stick up for your teammates if something bad happens, but referee makes a bad call, there's a controversial play, you got to stay out of it. There's yellow card accumulations, we can't afford to have any sort of suspensions, plus it's just not the way I want the team to play. I don't want us to be thought of as a dirty team.
You mentioned the Reagan Areola thing. There was no video of that on the broadcast, and so did you see what theoretically happened?
We have the panoramic view.
So
Jackson was just running to celebrate with his teammates, and Areola was coming this way, and they kind of just brushed each other as they ran past each other. I don't think there was anything malicious in that either.
I asked a little bit about some of the inconvenience from what I saw today, about the 24th minute to about the 32-minute mark. It seemed like when Velasco went out and they lost a creative player, Pamaco started pushing, and when they would press with three, sometimes he would push in. He made some inconvenience for you. You guys talk a little bit about that?
We talked about the struggles, yes, of getting out of the back in certain moments. I thought you are correct. In the beginning of the game, we were able to play through them pretty easily. And then, tall kid came on a little bit more. They were a little bit better defensively. So, yeah, we discussed that. We've got some tactics for down there, some possession tactics.
And another thing I found interesting was that there were several times where Yema would kind of push and carry and would break lines. As a center back, is that designed?
No.
Okay.
No. He took what the game gave him. the one play down the right-hand side in the first half, and some other moments. We want our center backs to take positive touches forward. If you stop the ball dead, you invite pressure. If you go forward, they have to back off a little bit. But Yammer had a good game. Nuhu had a good game. Jackson was good, other than the one errant ball. But all three of them played good.
When you are sort of game planning for a 3-game series, obviously you want to put it away as soon as possible. But is there any extra emphasis of, look, we don't want to lose momentum here. You guys are on a long shutout streak, a good unbeaten streak.
How do we message that to the team? It was just, look, if we go down there and play up to our potential, we have a good chance of winning. Remind everybody, this is MLS. Lots of strange things can happen. I remember Chad Marshall scoring on a corner kick. We don't waste time because they're too nice. We jog right back. They take the kickoff, go down and score, and they go through. So it's weird. It's still MLS. So
2015.
Yeah, 2015. So we're not taking anything for granted. Yes, we want to play and keep our momentum going, but Dallas is a good team. Nico will have some tweaks. We'll be preparing for maybe a little bit more front foot. They've got to certainly come out and win the game, and we'll plan accordingly.
Any update on Reed? How he's doing this week?
He's fine. He's not gonna go. He's not gonna travel. But we'll see if there's a third game if he can participate.
Do you feel like you have a pretty set lineup at this point in terms of, like, it seems like maybe they're making the choices for you?
Well, Nico played pretty well when he came on. That's a fact. Raul looked motivated. That's a fact. The rest of the group, Obed, Josh and Obed have been competing with each other. So, we'll see what happens in Dallas, away from home. Might make a tweak there, but we'll see.
But that's all a positive, right? You'll be able to say, if I need a little bit more hold-up player, if I need...
Yeah.
you're giving people headaches figuring out who you're going to bring in.
For sure. And then if I don't bring a certain player on and I've got a deep bench, that presents problems for other teams too.